My beloved child, it's me, your Father in heaven. I've watched over you since before you even had a name. Before the world assigned you an identity, I spoke your name with joy. Before you ever cried your first tear, I already knew every tear you would cry, and I collected each one like treasure. I've seen the way you've tried to stay strong. I've seen how hard you've worked to hold it all together. For others, for yourself, even for me. But I want you to know something very clearly today. You don't have to hold it together for me to love you. You don't have to be okay for me to stay near. You don't need a perfect version of yourself to be accepted. You already are. I know the thoughts that you try to hide, the self-doubt that creeps in when no one is watching, the fear that maybe you're too much, or maybe not enough. But I'm not afraid of your mess. I'm not surprised by your brokenness. I've always known every part of you, and I still chose you. You see, child, I don't just tolerate your imperfections. I redeem them. I don't just sit on a distant throne, waiting for you to measure up. I walk with you. I kneel beside you in your sorrow. I whisper truth over you while you sleep. And right now, this moment, I am drawing near again, because I love being close to you. You don't have to do everything in your own strength. Let that sink in for a moment. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to be everything to everyone. That's not your role. That's mine. I designed you to depend on me, not because you're weak, but because intimacy with me was always the plan. Your limits are not a failure. They're an invitation to let me in. So let me help you. Let me hold what you were never meant to carry. Let me lead you through the confusion, through the heartbreak, through the uncertainty. I am your refuge. I am your strong tower. I am your peace when anxiety roars. I am your confidence when self-doubt screams. I am your rest when sleep won't come. I am your Father, your shepherd, your home. Come sit with me. Come to perform. Not to say the right words, not to present a polished version of yourself. Come as you are, tired, confused, hopeful, angry, numb, joyful, all of it. Bring the whole truth of your soul, and I will meet you there. Let your restless thoughts settle like waves in my presence. Let the worries that have twisted your stomach begin to unravel in my hands. Let the anger that simmers beneath your politeness be laid bare before me. I can handle all of it because I already see it. There's nothing you need to hide from me. You've looked at the news. You've felt the chaos. You've heard the noise of this world and wondered, where is God in all of this? I'm right here. I'm in the hospital room when no one else can visit. I'm in the bedroom when you collapse from another long day. I'm in the quiet moment when you look at the sky and whisper, help. I'm in the room when you laugh out loud and feel guilty for enjoying something. I'm there in all of it, fully present, always. So breathe now, right here, right where you are. You don't need a plan. You don't need to fix everything tonight. You don't need to find all the answers. You only need to let go and trust that I'm still holding on. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not beyond repair. You are still my beloved child, and that will never change. My child, there are places in your heart you avoid going, memories you've buried beneath busyness, stories you stopped telling because the words still sting, pain you've tried to name then quickly erase, but I've never turned my face from those places. In fact, I dwell there, in the ache, in the absence, in the questions you were too afraid to ask. You've told yourself, that's over now, I've moved on. But healing isn't pretending it didn't hurt. Healing isn't forgetting. Healing is letting me touch what's still tender and reminding you that your wounds are not who you are. You carry shame that was never yours to hold. You believed the lie that because someone else hurt you, you were somehow less worthy, less clean, less lovable. But child, you were never unworthy of love. I saw what they did. I heard what they said. I watched as the tears fell silently in the dark. I remember how tightly you hugged your pillow just to feel something. I remember how you tried to smile, even when your heart was fractured. And today, I'm speaking into those moments, not to shame you, but to restore you, because that version of you, the one who endured, the one who kept going, the one who loved, even while broken, that version is heroic. You don't see it, but I do. You think you were weak, but I saw courage. You think you were lost, but I saw someone brave enough to keep walking, even without a map. And now, I'm healing you from the inside out. No more covering it up. No more pretending it didn't affect you. No more apologizing for being emotional. Feel what you need to feel, but know that you are not alone in it. I am here, holding your hand through the grief, whispering peace into the chaos, anointing every scar with purpose, because nothing you've endured will be wasted. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every dark valley, they are being woven into something sacred. And not just for you. Your pain is becoming someone else's permission to heal. When you say, I've been there, chains break. When you say, I thought I'd never recover, someone else finds strength. When you say, but God met me in it, heaven rejoices. So don't heed your story. You don't need to be fully healed to speak. You don't need a tidy ending to testify. All you need is a willing heart. A heart that says, if you can use this, I'm willing. And child, I can. I will. I already am. If you've ever looked at your life and thought, why did I go through that? This is why. Because what once wounded you is now your weapon. Not a weapon to harm, but to bring light into the shadows. To lead others out of places you've already been. To remind them that restoration isn't a myth. It's a miracle. And it has a name, Jesus. So take a deep breath. Let go of the guilt. Release the shame. Step out from the shadows. You are not broken beyond repair. You are healing. And I, your loving Father, am not finished with you yet. If these words feel like they were written for you, if something inside you is breaking and mending at the same time, comment, I receive healing below. Let it be your act of faith. Let it be the turning point. Because today, my child, you're not hiding anymore. You're healing. And healing is holy. My beloved, you're tired soul tired, not just from the tasks and the noise and the people, but from pretending to be fine, pretending to be strong, pretending to carry what you've long wanted to set down. And here I am, waiting for you, not in judgment, but with open arms and a quiet place that says, you can rest now. You see, you were not designed to keep going endlessly. You were not created to move from one demand to the next, never pausing to breathe, never stopping to feel. You were created for rhythm, rest, presence, me. I've watched you push through days when your body said no, but your mind said just a little longer. I've seen you serve and give and love and show up, even when your own soul was empty. That is beautiful, child. That is strength. But it's time to come rest now. Come back to the quiet, to the space where you don't need to impress anyone, where no one's keeping score, where your performance doesn't earn love, because love was never a wage. It was a gift. You don't need to earn your place in my presence. You already belong here. This space, this moment is for you. So come. Lay down the invisible weights, the expectations, the comparisons, the mental checklists. Lay down the questions you can't answer yet. Lay down the mask that says, I've got it together. You don't have to have it together to be held. I've created a place for you, Not just once, but always. A place to return to. Every day, every hour, if needed. A place where your soul can exhale. Not everyone will understand why you pause. Why you sit still while the world rushes past. Why you choose quiet over constant motion. But you don't need their understanding. You need my voice. And my voice is clearest in the stillness. Do you hear it now? The whisper in the quiet corners of your spirit. It's me, saying welcome home. Welcome to this moment where you are not what you produce. Where your worth is not measured by your to-do list. Where your value has nothing to do with how much you've accomplished. You are enough because I say so. And even more, you are safe here. Safe to cry. Safe to be silent. Safe to let go. If your heart is weary, if your spirit is thin, if your soul is begging for stillness, comment, I need rest below. Let it be your prayer. Let it be your gentle return to the sacred. Because rest is not laziness. It is resistance against the lie that you must always do more to be worthy. Rest is where you remember that. I am Godand, you are held. You can come here anytime. You don't need a special reason. You don't need to explain yourself. Just come. Whether in the quiet of your room, in your car, in the middle of doing dishes or watching the sunset, I am there, and I will meet you. Every time. This is your place. This is your invitation. This is your restoration. So come. Breathe. Rest. Stay as long as you need. My dear child, I know your mind has been loud lately. I know how your thoughts spin when the room gets quiet. You lie in bed, the lights are off, but inside your mind, it's still daylight, and you're revisiting conversations, rewriting what you wish you'd said, reliving moments you wish you could undo. You're not alone in that. I see every thought you try to bury. I hear every mental loop you try to silence. And I want you to know, you're not broken for thinking too much. You're human, but you were never meant to carry this mental weight without me. Let me renew your mind. You've tried to fix your thinking by thinking harder. You've tried distraction, denial, numbing, avoiding. But child, what you need is not more noise. What you need is my voice. Let me speak to the lies that have built walls inside your mind. Let me challenge the inner critic that sounds like your own voice, but never speaks with kindness. Let me silence the whisper that says you're not enough, not strong enough, not lovable enough, because that's not me. I never called you too much. I never said, you'll never get it right. I never shouted, you're failing again. Those voices are not holy. They're not healing. They're not from me. I speak gently. I guide patiently. I correct with mercy, not shame. So come, let's start again. Let me teach your mind how to rest. Let me remind you that you don't have to rehearse every outcome. You don't have to be prepared for every worst-case scenario. You don't have to be perfect in every word or decision. You only have to trust me. And when your thoughts start racing again, when anxiety creeps in with its usual questions, come back to this truth. You are safe with me. You are allowed to lay your thoughts down. You are allowed to stop overthinking. You are allowed to say, God, I can't hold this anymore. And when you do, I will pick it up. You've spent too long identifying with every thought that crosses your mind. But hear me clearly. You are not your thoughts. You are not your intrusive thoughts. You are not your fear. You are not your mental fatigue. You are mine. And your mind is holy ground. I know you feel like you've lost control. But what if you don't need control? What if you just need connection? Let me be your center. Let my word shape your focus. Let my peace guard your mind like armor. If this speaks to you, if your mind feels like a battlefield, comment, renew my mind, Lord, below. Let that be your offering, not as someone who has failed, but as someone brave enough to begin again, because a renewed mind doesn't happen in one moment. It's a daily invitation. So each morning, return. Each time anxiety knocks, return. Each time shame creeps in, return. And I will be waiting, not with scolding, but with stillness. Not with demands, but with deliverance. I am not afraid of your thoughts. I came to redeem them. Let me teach you how to think again. Not from fear, but from love. You don't have to live in the storm inside your head. I am the one who calms the wind and waves. And I speak that same peace over you now. My precious child, I know there are parts of your story that still sting. You don't speak of them often. Some you've never spoken aloud at all. They live quietly beneath the surface, the silent chapters, the ones that changed you, the ones you survived but never fully understood. But I have read every page. I was there for every sentence, and not a single one was missed by me. I know there are scars you try to hide, not out of shame, but out of fear that if you showed them, someone might not understand the weight they carry. But child, those scars are sacred. They tell a story not of defeat, but of victory. Not of what broke you, but of what couldn't. You've cried, "Why did this happen to me?" And though I won't always give you a reason, I will give you something greater, redemption. Because nothing that has touched your life, no wound, no betrayal, no loss, is wasted in my hands. Where the world sees pain, I see purpose. Where the enemy tried to destroy you, I am raising up a calling. Where others walked away, I remained writing something eternal. In the places they tried to erase, I know you wanted a different path. One with fewer thorns, one with fewer tears. But hear me, I am the God who brings roses from the thorns and joy from the morning. That heartbreak, it taught you compassion. That betrayal, it taught you discernment. That season of silence, it taught you how to hear me in the stillness. You are not the same person who walked into the storm. You're wiser now, softer in spirit, stronger in soul. And child, that strength wasn't formed in comfort. It was forged in fire. And now, I'm calling you to let the fire become light. You don't have to wait until you're completely healed. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be willing. Because what once broke you will now break open healing for others. You think you're not qualified, but you've walked through what they're walking through. You understand not because you studied it, but because you lived it. That is power. That is testimony. That is how my kingdom moves forward, through ordinary people who carry extraordinary stories of grace. So let me use your wounds. Let me turn them into windows, clear places where my light pours through into someone else's darkness. If you're afraid to speak, I will be your voice. If you're afraid to go, I will be your strength. If you're afraid to be seen, I will cover you. And if you're ready to let me use even your pain for something holy, even if your voice shakes, comment, "Use my story, Lord," below. Let that be your declaration. Let it be your yes, your surrender, your commissioning. Because what the enemy tried to silence, I will make sing. And what once caused tears will one day cause praise. Your wounds do not disqualify you. They prepare you. They prove that you've walked through the valley and come out with me still holding your hand. And now you walk not just for you, but for those still in the valley. Let me shine through your story. My dear child, I know how deeply you've longed to be understood, to be seen clearly, to be known fully without assumptions, without distortion. I know the sting when people misread your heart, when they label you, reduce you, judge you, and never ask for the full story. But I know the full story. I see behind the words they said, I know what you meant when they misunderstood. I know what you carried when they criticized. And I want to tell you something today that will set you free. You are not who they say you are. Their opinion is not your truth. Their approval is not your identity. Their applause is not your worth. Their silence is not your rejection. You are, my child, formed by eternal hands, designed with divine intention, and covered by a grace that no human can revoke. Yes, I know it hurt when they turned away. I know how long you held on to their words, replaying them over and over in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. But child, their opinion was never the foundation of your soul. I am. You've tried to explain yourself to people who never truly listened. You've tried to justify your growth to those committed to remembering your past. You've tried to carry both your truth and their comfort. But that's not your assignment. You don't have to shrink to stay likable. You don't have to stay silent to keep the peace. You don't have to keep performing so they stay near. Let me remind you, your value was established before they ever had an opinion, and it will remain long after they forget your name. So stop letting them define what I created. They didn't knit you together in the womb. They didn't whisper dreams into your spirit at midnight. They didn't walk with you through the fire and call you forth from the ashes. I did, and I say you are worthy, called, chosen, redeemed, enough. Even if they don't see it, even if they never say it, even if they walk away. And I know you felt the ache of their leaving. It made you question what you did wrong. But sometimes, child, rejection is my protection. I removed what could not walk with you into the next season, not as punishment, but as preparation. You're not hard to love. You were just loving in places that couldn't hold your heart. You're not too sensitive. You just feel deeply in a world that often prefers numbness. You're not too much. You're just overflowing with purpose, and they weren't ready to receive it. Let me break every lie that grew from someone else's insecurity. Let me uproot every word that was never planted by my spirit. Let me restore the confidence you lost, trying to be enough for people who were never meant to measure your soul. If these words speak to the part of you that's still carrying the pain of judgment, comment, "I am who God says I am," below. Let that be your line in the sand. Let that be your return to truth. Because I don't see you as others have labeled you. I see you as I made you, and what I made was good. Not perfect by the world's standards, but perfectly loved by mine. So walk on, beloved, not with the weight of their opinions, but with the wings of my approval. You are not theirs to define. You are mine to delight in. My beloved child, I know your faith doesn't feel as strong as it once did. I know there was a time when you believed boldly, when you prayed with certainty, when you felt me in every breath. And now your faith feels like embers, faint, flickering, almost fading. But hear me clearly, a flickering flame is still fire. And even the smallest spark is enough for me to breathe upon. You've told yourself, if only I had more faith, if only I hadn't doubted, if only I hadn't drifted. But child, faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is choosing me, even in the middle of them. You've mistaken feeling for faith, but faith is not a feeling. Faith is a choice, a posture, a whisper that says, God, I don't understand, but I still trust you. And I see your whisper, even when no one else hears it, even when you barely believe it yourself. I take that small faith, that trembling yes, and I meet it with my strength. Remember, even mustard seed faith moves mountains, and you, beloved, still carry more faith than you think. The fact that you're still listening, still reaching, still hoping, that's faith. You've walked through dry seasons, prayers unanswered, doors unopened. You've watched others get what you've longed for and wondered if I forgot about you. But I didn't, and I won't. There's something I've been building inside you, a deeper faith. Not the kind that needs signs every day, but the kind that holds on when the sky is silent. Not the kind that shouts on mountaintops, but the kind that stands in the valley and still says, "He is good." I'm not disappointed in your doubt. I'm not ashamed of your questions, but I do want to draw you closer, not into more effort, but into more presence. You don't need to stir yourself up. You don't need to fake spiritual passion. You just need to come, sit with me. Let me rekindle what life tried to extinguish. You were never meant to carry your faith alone. I am the author and the finisher of your faith. I began the good work in you, and I will be the one who completes it. If your spirit is weary, and you long for that closeness again, that hunger, that fire, comment, "Reignite my faith" below. Not as a magic phrase, but as a step toward me, as a flicker offering itself to be fanned into flame, and I will breathe on it. I will guard that fire, and I will make it burn again. Not as it was before, but deeper, wiser, unshakable. You are not backsliding. You are being refined. And this version of your faith, it will not be easily stolen, because it was forged in the furnace. I am still here, still calling, still holding out my hand, and your yes, no matter how quiet, still echoes in eternity. My dear child, I see how much you've been carrying lately, not just what's happening today, but what might happen tomorrow. Your thoughts travel miles ahead, creating stories that haven't come to pass. And your heart, it beats to the rhythm of what if? What if you fail? What if you're alone? What if the door doesn't open? What if things get worse before they get better? Child, I hear them all, and I want to meet each one of those fears with this truth. Your future is not a mystery to me. I am already standing in your next chapter. I am already preparing the people, the places, the provisions. Where you see fog, I see a map. Where you see a dead end, I see a divine detour. Where you feel unprepared, I am already equipping you. You don't need to know everything. You only need to know me. I'm not asking you to predict. I'm asking you to trust. Because I don't lead you blindly. I lead you lovingly. You've been holding on to control so tightly, trying to forecast every possible scenario, as if anxiety could keep disaster away. But worry is not wisdom. Control is not peace. Fear is not the same as preparation. Let me carry what you were never meant to. Let me guide you through what you were never meant to map alone. Because while you're pacing at night, I'm working in the silence. While you're bracing for the worst, I'm writing a better ending. And no, not every moment ahead will be easy, but none of them will be without me. There will be grace for every tomorrow, provision for every need, strength for every weakness, and peace in the middle of every unknown. You don't need to figure it all out. That's my job. You just need to keep taking the next step with me beside you. So if the future feels too heavy to hold, if you're constantly checking the horizon for storms, comment, "I trust you with my future," below. Let it be your sacred release. Let it be your turning point. Because the truth is, you were never meant to walk into the future alone. I am not just the God of your past. I am the God of your next. And I promise, what's ahead of you may surprise you, but it will not destroy you. Not when you walk with me. So let go of the timeline. Let go of the pressure. Let go of the fear. Your future is not fragile when it's held by eternal hands. And those are the hands that hold you now. My sweet child, I know how hard you try. How often you wonder if you're doing enough. Enough to be good. Enough to be worthy. Enough to be loved. I've watched you chase perfection, not because you're vain, but because deep down you thought love had to be earned. But today, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. And I want you to hear me say this. You don't have to earn my love. Not with your achievements. Not with your prayers. Not with your church attendance, your discipline, your generosity. All those are beautiful. But they were never prerequisites. They are fruit, never payment. I loved you before you did anything for me. I loved you when your heart was a mess. I loved you when you were still hiding, still running, still unsure. And I love you now. Not for what you do, but for who you are. Let that sink in. My love is not a paycheck. It's a promise. You've been taught to believe love is transactional, that people only stay if you give them reasons. That affection must be maintained. That presence must be earned. But I am not people. I am the one who doesn't keep score. The one who sees your flaws and still calls you beautiful. The one who knows your every failure and still chooses you. You don't have to fake strength for me. You don't have to impress me with spiritual language. You don't have to keep performing, so I don't leave. I'm not leaving. Even when you stumble, even when you shut me out, even when you feel too ashamed to pray, I'm still here, not distant, not disappointed, just present, still reaching, still loving, because that's what love looks like. Not based on merit, but based on covenant. So let go of the lie that says, if I just get better, then God will love me more. There is no more for me to give. You already have all of me. If this truth touches the deepest part of you, the part that's always tried to measure up, comment, I receive your love below. Let it be your surrender. Let it be your healing. Because when you stop trying to be loved, you finally get to rest in it. You are not tolerated. You are delighted in. You are not barely enough. You are fully mine, even on your worst days, even when you doubt it. And nothing, absolutely nothing can separate you from my love. Not fear, not failure, not even you. So stay, child. Let me love you. No striving, no explaining, no earning, just receiving. This love is your home. You don't need to knock. You already belong inside. My beloved child, after everything I've spoken, after the reminders, the comfort, the truth, I want you to know this. I am not just helping you. I am walking with you. You don't just get a one-time rescue. You get constant companionship. You don't just receive encouragement from afar. You receive presence near, steady, unwavering. This was never about fixing you and sending you on your way. This is about forming you, guiding you, and staying. I'm not the kind of helper who shows up in crisis and disappears in peace. I'm the kind of father who moves in and never moves out. You will never walk through a valley alone. You will never sit in sorrow without me beside you. You will never face a decision that I won't light the path for. I am your shepherd, your advocate, your counselor, your friend, your father. So whether the road ahead is smooth or steep, bright or shadowed, crowded or quiet, I'll be there. When you laugh, I'll be smiling beside you. When you cry, I'll be weeping with you. When you feel unsure, I'll be steady. When you get tired, I'll carry you. You don't need to pray louder for me to hear. You don't need to climb higher for me to see. You are already in my arms. I don't just send help. I am the help. And you don't have to figure out the rest. You don't have to strategize the future. You just need to wake up, breathe, and remember, I'm still here, still loving you, still choosing you, still leading you. Not one day has passed where I wasn't present. Not one breath have you taken without my gaze upon you. And when you reach the end of your strength, when your knees give out, when your words run dry, you'll fall straight into my grace. Because this was never about how far you could go. It was always about how far I would go for you, and I went all the way, to the cross, to the grave, to resurrection, for you. So now, rise. Rise not with fear, but with faith. Not with pressure, but with peace. Not with striving, but with stillness. Let me help you, yes. But more than that, let me walk with you. Every moment, every mile, every tear, every joy. This is not the end of our conversation. This is the beginning of our journey. So if you're ready to walk forward with me, not perfectly, but honestly, comment, "I'm walking with you, Lord," below. Let that be your prayer. Let that be your yes. And know this, no matter what comes next, you'll never walk it alone. Because I, the God who created you, who saved you, who delights in you, I am right here, helping, holding, walking, always. My beautiful child, there's one more thing I need you to know, something the world rarely tells you. I rejoice over you, not just when you win, not just when you behave, not just when you make the right choices, but always. Yes, even in your mess, even in your doubts, even in your slow, uncertain growth. I don't just tolerate you, I celebrate you. You are not a burden. You are my joy, not my project. My beloved, you were never meant to walk through life trying to earn a place in my heart. That place was carved for you before time began. I knew your voice before you spoke. I counted your steps before your feet ever touched earth. And with each step you've taken since, I've walked beside you, smiling, singing over you in the quiet, delighting in the courage you didn't know you had, proud of the healing you keep reaching for. The world has tried to label you. It has measured you by productivity, beauty, popularity, but my scale is different. I weigh the heart. And child, your heart is becoming more like mine. You love when it's hard. You forgive even when you bleed. You care even when you're exhausted. That is what makes you radiant in my sight. I see you folding laundry while whispering prayers. I see you holding back tears so others can feel safe. I see the smile you give even when your soul is aching. And I whisper to heaven, that one, that's my daughter. That one, that's my son. I know you don't always feel strong, but strength isn't how loudly you roar. It's how often you keep going quietly, with love still in your hands. You are not just enduring life, you are transforming it. Every act of kindness, every unseen sacrifice, every choice to stay soft in a world that hardens, these are your victories. And one day, when you step into eternity fully, when all the veils fall away, you'll see what I've seen all along. You were never small. You were never forgotten. You were never a mistake. You were a masterpiece in motion, growing, glowing, loved. Until that day, hold this truth close. I am not waiting at the finish line. I am walking the track beside you, cheering, lifting, celebrating. And even when you stumble, especially when you stumble, I lean in with love, never with shame. So breathe now, in the freedom of being fully seen and still fully embraced. Rest now, in the security of being held by arms that never let go. You don't have to be impressive, you just have to be present. Because I am, still here, still faithful, still smiling over you, my beloved one. Now that your heart has been steadied in my love, I want to show you something deeper, something brighter, something you may not have dared to hope for in a while. Joy. Yes, that word. Not the fleeting kind, not the kind that vanishes with a bill, a diagnosis, or a silence from someone you love, but the kind of joy that is rooted like a tree, planted deep in the soil of who I am. Joy that can dance even when it rains. Joy that knows how to rise even when the day begins with tears. You may feel like joy has been missing from your story lately. You've become so used to survival, you've forgotten how to celebrate. So used to endurance, you've forgotten the freedom of wonder. So used to praying through pain, you've forgotten, I also delight in your delight. Child, I want to laugh with you again, to smile with you in the ordinary, to surprise you with gifts wrapped in sunrises, warm coffee, and unexpected kindness, to awaken your childlike heart again, not naive, but free, not careless, but curious, not reckless, but radiant. You were never meant to live weighed down forever. Yes, I walk with you through the valley, but I also lead you beside still waters. I restore, I renew, I rebuild joy where grief once reigned. There is more to your life than healing. There is beauty, there is music, there is color waiting to return to your days. And I am the one painting it back in. Every laugh you thought you lost, I am reclaiming. Every song you stopped singing, I am reviving. Every hope you buried beneath what-ifs and maybe nots, I am lifting up again with my own hands. You will dance again, not just spiritually, but in your actual living, breathing, walking life. You will find yourself smiling for no reason at all. And when that moment comes, you'll remember this. Joy is holy too. Joy is not a distraction, it's part of your destiny. So breathe it in. Look for it in small places. Receive it even if you don't think you deserve it. Because I'm not giving it as a reward. I'm giving it as a reminder that I am not just your healer, I am your joy giver. If your heart longs for joy to return, not someday, but now, comment, I am ready for joy below. Let that be the moment heaven hears your readiness and all of creation responds with beauty. And I promise, you will not live in mourning forever. The season of singing will return, and I will dance with you in it. My beloved child, you've been asking me, when will I feel like myself again? You miss the days when your heart felt lighter, your mind felt clearer, your steps felt stronger. But child, you are not going back. Because I'm not calling you backward, I'm calling you forward. You're not being restored to a former version of yourself. You're being transformed into the fullness I've always dreamed for you. The you I saw when I first breathed life into your lungs. You've changed. Yes, you've felt it. You've grieved what used to be. But what feels like loss, I am using for renewal. You are not less. You are becoming more. More anchored in grace. More wise in your silence. More compassionate in your pain. More radiant because of what you've walked through. There is a quiet strength in you now. Not loud, not flashy, but deep, rooted, holy. Do not despise the wilderness you've just come through. It stripped away what could not go with you into this next season. The illusions, the crutches, the counterfeit identities, the noise. And now, what's left is real. Your heart still beating. Your faith, even if small. Your soul, even if scarred, still longing for me. That longing, that's your proof. You haven't lost yourself. You're uncovering the truest version of you. The one who doesn't need applause. The one who isn't shaped by fear. The one who walks slowly, wisely, intentionally. The one who carries peace like a garment. You've been shedding old skins, not because you were broken, but because you were growing. You've become tired of pretending, of forcing, of performing, and I rejoice in that. Because now I can show you what it means to live from the inside out. You are learning to listen to my whisper more than their opinions, to rest in my approval more than their praise, to stay grounded even when the world shakes. You are not who you used to be, and that's a miracle. You are becoming who I always saw, who I still see. So when you look in the mirror and feel unfamiliar, don't bunny. That face may carry new lines, but it also carries more glory. You are not being diminished. You are being refined. You are not unraveling. You are unfolding. Let go of who you thought you had to be. Let go of timelines and titles. Let go of versions of yourself built on survival. Because what's emerging now, that's the real you, the healed you, the free you, the holy you. And I am so, so proud of you. If you're ready to embrace this becoming, this sacred, slow, divine transformation, comment, I accept who I'm becoming below. Let it be your blessing over this next chapter. Because you're not behind, you're not late, you're right on time. You're becoming, and I am walking with you every step of the way. My gentle child, you've done so much. You've carried more than anyone sees. You've been strong for others when you were unraveling inside. You've shown up, held on, kept going, even when your soul whispered, I need a break. And now, I want to give you something holy, something countercultural, something heaven-blessed. Rest. Not the kind of rest where you collapse in exhaustion, but the kind where your soul exhales and says, I am safe, I am held, I can let go. Rest is not laziness. Rest is not weakness. Rest is not selfish. Rest is sacred. It's a declaration of trust. It says, I don't have to hold the world together because I know who does. You've been taught to always be producing, performing, pushing, but I did not design you to be a machine. I created you to be loved, to be filled, to be alive. Even I, God of all creation, rested, not because I needed it, but to show you how holy it is to pause, to be before doing, to breathe before building. Child, you don't have to earn your rest. You are worthy of it simply because you exist. You don't need to finish everything on your list to deserve stillness. You don't need to explain why you're tired. You don't need to apologize for needing time. Your worth is not in your output. It's in your identity. And your identity is mine. So let the weight fall from your shoulders tonight. Let yourself lie down without guilt. Let your body be cradled in grace. Let your mind stop rehearsing the what-ifs. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not lazy for pausing. You are honoring the rhythm of heaven. You are trusting me to be good even while you sleep. And I will not drop what you lay down. I will not forget what you've asked of me. I will not lose sight of the prayers you've whispered through clenched teeth. I am still working, even while you rest. So breathe. Breathe again. Feel how the world keeps turning, even when you're still. Feel how my love does not decrease, even when your hands stop moving. I want you rested, not just so you can work again, but so you can live again. If your heart is weary, if your soul has been begging for permission to stop, comment, I receive your rest below. Let it be your sacred yes. Yes to the pause. Yes to the permission. Yes to the healing that happens in stillness. I will meet you there, in the quiet, in the calm, in the sacred breath between more and enough. And I promise, you'll rise again, but this time lighter, this time restored, this time whole, because rest is not the end. It is the beginning of new strength. My beloved child, there's something you've quietly wondered, something you've dared not say aloud. It echoes in moments of stillness, when everyone else seems busy and full of meaning. You've asked, does my life still matter? You wouldn't dare say it at a dinner table. But in the silence of your room, in the tiredness that lingers too long, in the ache of days that feel the same, you've wondered if your story has lost its meaning, Let me answer you clearly. Yes, you matter. Your life still carries purpose. Not because you're young, not because you're successful, not because of how many people notice you, but because I wrote your name in my heart before time began, and I have never stopped writing your story. Purpose is not always loud. It's not always a stage or a title or a viral impact. Sometimes purpose looks like presence. Sometimes it's showing up with kindness when you feel invisible. Sometimes it's choosing not to harden your heart in a cold world. Child, your purpose was never dependent on your productivity. It was always rooted in your being. You are a vessel of my love, my compassion, my wisdom. Every time you speak peace instead of panic, that's purpose. Every time you comfort someone without needing credit, that's purpose. Every time you refuse to give up, even when you have every reason to, that's holy, sacred purpose. You still carry light. Even on the days when you feel dim, you still shift atmospheres. Even if no one says thank you, you still hold heaven's voice inside you. Even if you whisper instead of roar. Don't believe the lie that you're too late. Heaven doesn't run on clocks. Your timeline is not broken. You are right where I need you. I know you miss old dreams. I know some chapters closed faster than you thought. But I am the author, and I don't write half stories. If I woke you up this morning, there's something in this day that only you can do. A word only you can speak. A comfort only you can offer. A love only you can release. You don't need a spotlight. You just need to be willing. And child, if you are still breathing, you are still becoming. So don't wait for some grand breakthrough to believe you have value. You have it now. You had it yesterday. You'll have it forever. You are my idea, and I don't create anything without divine reason. If your soul is ready to reclaim your purpose, comment, "My life has meaning," below. Say it not because you feel it, but because you're beginning to believe again. I will show you. I will guide you. I will open new doors in old places, and I will whisper direction in the moments you least expect. Your life still carries purpose, and it always will. My wounded one, come closer. Let me look at the parts of you you've tried to hide. The cracks you covered with performance, the scars you hoped time would erase, the memories you whisper to no one. You've asked, could God still use someone like me? You've wondered if the mistakes, the pain, the trauma, the years of silence or sin or shame have disqualified you from being part of anything beautiful again. Let me speak truth to that lie. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are exactly who I love to use. I do not choose the flawless. I choose the surrendered. I do not ask for perfection. I ask for your yes. I have always used the cracked, the limping, the doubting. Moses stuttered. David failed. Peter denied. Paul had a past. Yet in their weakness, I was strong. Child, the cracks in you, they are not shameful. They are places where my glory can leak through. I do not need your polish. I need your heart. What you thought disqualified you is exactly what gives you compassion. What you thought ruined your story is what makes your voice credible to the hurting. You understand pain. You've walked through fire. You know what it's like to sit in silence, to question, to fall. And now you know how to extend grace. That is power. Not the kind the world celebrates, but the kind heaven treasures. I will use your story, every chapter, even the torn-out pages. I will use your regret to teach others redemption. I will use your scars as maps for those still wandering. I will use your failures as testimonies of resurrection. Nothing is wasted with me. Not a single tear, not a single detour. Not even the time you thought was lost. I hold it all. and I rewrite stories like no one else can. So bring me your broken. I will not flinch. I will not turn away. I will kneel beside you, pick up the pieces, and shape them into something holy. If your soul has believed the lie that you're too damaged to matter, comment, "God can still use me," below. Let it be your turning point. Because you are not too broken. You are beautifully becoming, and I am not done with you. I will use your wounds. I will use your wisdom. I will use your willingness. And what the world called ruined, I will call redeemed. My beloved child, I know how long you've been waiting. I know how many times you've whispered, "Lord, just one miracle, please." You've watched others receive answers. You've celebrated their breakthroughs, even as yours delayed. And somewhere in the quiet, you started to wonder if miracles had an expiration date, or if maybe they just weren't for you. But child, hear me now. I am still doing miracles, and I have not forgotten your name. Miracles are not relics of the past. They are my language of love in the present. They are not reserved for the deserving. They are gifts of mercy, wrapped in my perfect timing. Just because it's been long doesn't mean it's been denied. Delay is not denial. Silence is not absence. And waiting is not wasting. Even now, behind the scenes, I am orchestrating threads you can't see. Healing is moving closer. Provision is on its way. Restoration is gaining momentum. Doors you thought were sealed shut. I am placing my hand on the handle. The miracle might not look the way you pictured. It might arrive in whispers, not fireworks. In gentle shifts, not sudden storms. But oh, child, when it arrives, you will know it was me all along. I see the doctor reports. I see the empty bank account. I see the fractured family. I see the lonely prayers said through tears at midnight. And I want you to know, none of it is beyond me. I am not just able, I am willing. Your pain has not disqualified you from hope. Your questions have not cancelled my promises. Your timeline is not behind my power. I am still the God who parts seas, who multiplies bread, who calls the dead to life, and who still answers the cries of a single trembling heart. You don't have to manufacture belief. Just give me your mustard seed. Tiny, honest, sincere. That's enough. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. Just bring me the ache. I will meet you there. And when the breakthrough comes, and it will, you'll look back and say, it wasn't just a miracle. It was intimacy. It was His presence in every unanswered moment. So hold on, child. Not to fear, but to me. If you're still hoping, still praying, still waiting for a move, only heaven can explain. Comment, I believe you still do miracles below. Let your hope rise again. Not because the evidence is visible, but because the promise maker is faithful. The miracle is coming, and so am I. My dear wandering one, you've looked at your life lately and thought, I've gone too far. Too many missteps, too many wrong turns, too much distance between who you are now and who you used to be. And quietly, painfully, you've started to believe a lie. That my love has limits. That my door has closed. That my arms are folded instead of open. But oh, child, listen with every ounce of your soul. You are never too far to come home. Not after that mistake. Not after the silence. Not after the running. Not after the rebellion. You do not have to clean yourself up to come to me. You do not have to fix everything first. You do not have to pretend to be okay. Just come. Come with your questions. Come with your guilt. Come with your tired heart and trembling hands. You will not find a locked gate. You will not find a courtroom. You will not find a lecture. You will find a Father running toward you, tears in my eyes, joy in my voice, celebration in my heart, because my greatest delight is not in your perfection, but in your return. Every step you take toward me, I match with 1,000. Every whisper of God, I miss you, echoes through heaven like a symphony. I've watched every moment. I've held every memory. I've never stopped loving you, not for 1 second. Even when you cursed me, even when you doubted me, even when you walked away, I stayed. I waited. I loved, and I still do. You are not too dirty. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are mine. And nothing, no shame, no failure, no sin can erase that truth. Come home, child, to peace, to purpose, to love without condition. You don't have to earn it. Just receive it. If your heart is whispering, I want to come back to God, comment, I'm coming home below. Let those words be your key. The gate is already open. The lights are on. The feast is prepared. And your Father am waiting, not with a list of what you've done wrong, but with a robe, a ring, and a place at the table that's had your name on it from the very beginning. Welcome home, my beloved child. Even when this message fades, even when the screen goes dark, even when silence returns to your room, I will still be here. I am not a momentary comfort. I am not a fleeting feeling. I am not a temporary miracle. I am your Father, your constant, your anchor, your beginning and your forever. When the storms rise again, and they will, I will not move. When the questions return, and they might, I will not retreat. I walk with you through valley and victory. I walk with you in weakness and wonder. I walk with you in laughter, and I carry you in sorrow. Every breath, I am with you. Every night, I watch over you. Every morning, my mercy greets you. You have never lived one day unloved. You have never walked one step alone, and you never will. So rest in me, child. Trust my heart even when you don't understand my hand. Choose to believe again and again and again that the one who holds the universe also holds you. If this message has touched your heart, comment Amen below. Let it be your echo back to heaven, your quiet, I receive. And if you feel someone else needs to hear this, share it. Let your kindness be the bridge to someone else's healing. Until we speak again, until the next whisper finds your soul, remember this one truth: you are loved, you are known, you are not alone. With all of heaven behind you, with all of my love within you, you will rise, you will heal, and you will shine. I'm not going anywhere. Your Father in heaven, thank you for being here. If this message comforted you, subscribe to Dear God for more divine reminders wrapped in love. Because the Father's voice is always speaking, and sometimes all we need is to pause and listen. Until next time, stay in grace.